Good morning, students. Today we are going to read the lesson number 4 from the Diary of Annie Frank from the book First Flight. So, this lesson is an excerpt. Excerpt means piece, P-I-E-C-E, from Diary of a Young Girl or the Diary of Annie Frank. It is an autobiography that was first published in 1947, and in this Annie expresses her thoughts in a diary which was gifted to her by her father on her 13th birthday, and she names the diary Kitty, which she considers as her only true and best friend. She mentions about her childhood in the diary, about her family, and lot of other things that she told no one else. So, Anneliese Mary Annie Frank was her complete name. Was a German Dutch diarist of Jewish origin. She born on 12 June 1929 at Frank in Germany. She is one of the most discussed Jewish victims of the Holocaust. She gained fame posthumously with the publication of the Diary of a Young Girl. Posthumously means when a person becomes famous after his or her death. So she also became famous after her death. Understand? In English, it is called the Secret Annex, in which she documents her life in hiding from 1942 to 1944 during the German occupation of the Netherlands in World War II. Annie Frank spent 761 days in the secret annex. In Feb 1945, she died of typhus. Typhus is a kind of fever. Diary of Young Girl is one of the world's best known books and has been the basis for several plays and films. Now let's begin the explanation of the chapter from the Diary of Annie Frank. Okay, writing in a diary is a really strange experience for someone like me. Not only because I have never written anything before, but also because it seems to me that later on neither I nor anyone else will be interested in the musing of a 13-year-old schoolgirl. Oh well, it doesn't matter. I feel like writing. And I have an ever greater need to get all kinds of things off my chest. Now, see the meanings of difficult words in the paragraph. Musings. Musings means a period of reflection or thought. Understand? Now, the meaning of the paragraph. Here, the authoress Annie Frank feels that it is strange and unusual for her to write in a diary about her feelings and experiences because it was the first time she was doing it. She feels this because she thinks that in the future no one would be interested in reading about a young school going girl's past. She thinks that later even she will not be interested in reading it herself, but then she puts these thoughts away and decides that she would write if she feels like doing so. She feels the need to write because there were a lot of thoughts she had been holding on to lately and she needed to get them off her mind. It is known that writing one's thought act as therapy. She makes the decision of writing a diary. Now the next paragraph. Paper has more patience than people. I thought of this saying on one of those days when I was feeling a little depressed and was sitting at home with my chin in my hands, bored and listless, wondering whether to stay in or go out. I finally stayed where I was, brooding. Yes, paper does have more patience, and since I'm not planning to let anyone else read this stiff backed notebook grandly referred to as a diary, unless I should ever find a real friend, it probably won't make a bit of difference. Now I am back to the point that prompted me to keep a diary in the first place. I don't have a friend. Now, the meanings of few tough words. See the meaning of listless. Patience, you know already, the quality of being able to stay calm and not get angry. Listless means with no energy or interest. Okay. And brooding means making you feel uncomfortable or worried as something bad is going to happen. Okay. And next word is prompted, means provoke. It has many other meanings which are on the next page, but first we'll go through the meaning of the paragraph. So in this stanza, she says she feels that paper has much more capacity to absorb thoughts than people. Okay, people have low patience levels, but a piece of paper, being a non-living thing, would not refuse from absorbing her means Anne Frank's thoughts. This realization came to her one day when she was feeling more sad and confused than usual. She could not even decide whether to go out or stay at home at that time. When she finally decided to stay at home, she sat being depressed and in deep thought. Again, she thought that paper had more patience, and she decided to write everything that came in her mind, because she didn't intend on making someone read it unless she found a real friend. By real friend, she meant a friend with whom she could share all her secrets, emotions. Okay, the author then comes back to the point where she thought of beginning to write. It is because she is lonely and has no friend to talk to. Understand? In this paragraph, you can see that how lonely is she. Now the next paragraph. Let me put it more clearly, since no one will believe that a 13-year-old girl is completely alone in the world, and I'm not. I have loving parents and a 16-year-old sister, and there are about 30 people I can call friends. I have a family, loving aunts, and good home. No, on the surface, I seem to having everything except my one true friend. All I think about when I am with friends is having a good time. I can't bring myself to talk about anything but ordinary, everyday things. We don't seem to be able to get any closer, and that's the problem. Maybe it's my fault that we don't confide in each other. In any case, that's just how things are, and unfortunately, they are not liable to change. This is why I have started the diary. Now, see the meanings of the words. Confide, to tell somebody something that is secret. Okay, and liable means having responsibility for something or someone. Now, let's go through the meaning of the paragraph. She then goes on explaining why she feels the need for a friend. She feels that no one is going to believe that a young girl like her is so alone, which practically she is not, because she has a loving family. Practically, she is not alone. Why? Because she has a loving family. Near about 30 persons are there that can be called friends, loving aunts, and good place to stay. This depicts a clear picture of happy family. But the one thing that lacks in her life is the presence of a true friend with whom she can share everything, her secrets. She does have a good time with friends. They talk about stuff, but not real stuff that is actually going on in their lives. Despite trying hard, they are unable to get closer. She feels that maybe it is her who is not able to trust anyone with her private stuff that she is not able to come any close to her friends. Understand? So she just makes herself responsible for that, okay, not others. She feels that the current situation cannot be changed, and thus she needs to write her feelings in the diary. Now the next paragraph. To enhance the image of this long awaited friend in my imagination, I don't want to join down the facts in this diary the way most people would do, but I want the diary to be my friend, and I am going to call this friend Kitty. Since no one would understand a word of my stories to Kitty, if I were to plunge right in, I would better provide a brief sketch of my life, much as I dislike doing so. Now you can see the meanings of difficult words. Plunge means to jump, drop, or fall suddenly or with force. Adorable means very attractive and easy to feel love. Plunk down means put down in a casual way. Okay, let's keep up to this. Now, meaning of the paragraph. So, usually when someone is writing in a diary, they list down all the facts about them, okay, in a formal manner, which the authoress doesn't want to do. This is because she wanted to give her need for a friend a shape, and thus actually she does not want to keep a record of anything. What she wants to give her need for a friend, okay, a shape, and thus decides to name the diary as Kitty. Hoping that someone would read her diary one day, she thinks that writing without giving details about the background story would be ineffective. It will be useless. So, despite not wanting to do so, she gives brief details about her life. Okay, now the next paragraph. My father, the most adorable father I have ever seen, didn't marry my mother until he was 36 and she was 25. My sister Margot was born in Frankfurt in Germany in 1926. I was born on 12 June 1929. I lived in Frankfurt until I was 4. My father immigrated to Holland in 1933. My mother, Edith Hollander Frank, went with him to Holland in September, while Margot and I were sent to Aachen to stay with our grandmother. Margot went to Holland in December and I followed in February, when I was plunked down on the table as a birthday present for Margot. Okay, now see the meanings of words. Once again, adorable means lovable, cute. Okay, then emigrated means leave one's own country in order to settle permanently in other country. Plunk means to put down. Okay, now the meaning of the paragraph. Here in this stanza paragraph, she refers to her father as the most lovable father. Okay, and her father married her mother when he was at the age of 36 and her mother was 25, and her sister Margot were both born in, she and her sister Margot both were born in Frankfurt. As soon as Annie turned 4 years age, her father moved to Holland, followed by her mother. Okay, mother also went with her father. Then in September, while both the sisters stayed with their grandmother, when parents moved to Holland, children stayed with their grandmother in Aachen. Margot was also sent to Holland in December, followed by Annie in February, who was brought as a birthday present for Margot. Okay, now the next paragraph. I started right away at the Montessori nursery school. I stayed there until I was 6, at which time I started in the first form. In the sixth, from my teacher was Mrs. Cuperus, the headmistress. At the end of the year, we were both in tears as we said a heartbreaking farewell. In the summer of 1941, Grandma fell ill and had to have an operation. So my birthday passed with little celebration. You can see the meanings of the tough words. Heartbreaking means making you feel very sad, and solemn means very serious. Okay. Now see the meaning of the paragraph. And farewell, you know already that an action or act of parting, parting means separating or making someone's departure. So in Holland, Annie was sent to Montessori nursery school. Now she was admitted in this school, okay, and it was her first school, and she started from first form. She had Mrs. Cuperus as headmistress and her teacher in sixth form, who even cried at the time of farewell when they departed. When Annie Frank departed from them, she cried at the departure, at the time of farewell. In 1941, the authoress' birthday could not be celebrated properly as her grandmother fell ill and underwent an operation. Okay, now the next paragraph. Grandma died. In January 1942, no one knows how often I think of her and still love her. This birthday celebration in 1942 was intended to make up for the other, and Grandma's candle was lit along with the rest. The four of us are still doing well, and that brings me to the present date of 20 June 1942 and the solemn dedication of my diary. Dedication means commitment. Okay. Now the meaning of the paragraph. Unfortunately, her grandmother left them in January 1942. Means she died in 1942. Annie misses her grandmother a lot, more than anyone knows. Okay. Which years? 1942 years. Birthday was to be celebrated with great zeal so as to compensate for last years. She then mentions that her family is doing well, which sums up her background and brings her to the present date of June 20, 1942, when she is writing her diary. Okay. Now the next paragraph. Actually, there is a salutation. I think picture has not come in the page properly. Salutation is dearest Kitty. Our entire class is quacking in its boots. The reason, of course, is the forthcoming meeting in which the teachers decide who will move up to the next form and who will be kept back. And half the class is making bets. Gian and I laugh ourselves silly at the two boys behind us, Cian and Jacques, who have staked their entire holiday saving on their bet from morning to night. It's you are going to pass. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. No, I'm not. Even GS pleading glances and my angry outbursts can't calm them down. If you ask me, there are so many dummies that about a quarter of the class should be kept back, but teachers are the most unpredictable creature on the earth. Okay, now see the meaning of the words. Quacking in its boots means shivering with fear and nervousness. You can say shake or tremble. Okay, the next word is forthcoming. That will happen in the near future. And pleading means making an urgent emotional request for something. And outbursts means a sudden forceful expression of emotion. Okay, and then some meanings are on the next page. Dummies means a model of the human body, and unpredictable means likely to change suddenly without reason, therefore not able to be predicted. Okay, now let's see the meaning of the paragraph. On June 20, 1942, Annie begins writing in her diary, addressing it as her friend Kitty. Understand? She mentions how her entire class is nervous about their results. It is unpredictable and will be decided by a meeting of teachers in which they will select students to be moved to the next class or kept back. Many students were making bets, okay, as you do in the classroom. So they were also making bets. Some had put in their entire summer savings at stake. Okay, she and her friend G also made fun of the nervous boys. They kept on saying to each other that I'm not going to pass, while others would console them and say, yes, you would. G was polite as she tried to stop them from making noise, while Annie scolded them, but none of it worked. Okay. According to Annie, about a quarter of class should not be allowed to pass because they hardly respond to take part in any of the activities. She refers to them as dummies. Whom? Students. She refers the students as dummies, and but this may not be the case because teachers' decision can't be predicted. Can't be predicted. What is the meaning of predicted? Means you cannot say how they would behave. Understand how teachers would behave. Now the next paragraph. I'm not so worried about my girlfriends and myself. Will make it the only subject I'm not sure about is maths. Anyway, all we can do is wait. Until then, we keep telling each other not to lose heart. Okay. Now, see the meaning. Not to lose heart. It is not highlighted, but you must know the meaning. Not to lose heart means not be discouraged. Now the meaning of the line is, here the authoress says that she is not bothered, means she is not worried about her friends because she is sure that they will all get pass. Okay, the only subject that she is unsure about is mathematics. She seems to be having a tough time with this subject. Okay, but all they could do was wait for the results and not lose their hope. Understand? They should be very hopeful. They should be very positive about their results. Now the next paragraph. I get along pretty well with all my teachers. There are 9 of them, 7 men and 2 women. Mr. Keesing, the old Fauji who teaches maths, was annoyed with me for ages because I talked so much. After several warnings, he assigned me extra homework, an essay on the subject, a chatterbox. What can you write about that? I would worry about that later. I decided. I jotted down the title in my notebook, tucked it in my bag, and tried to keep quiet. Okay, see, Fauji means an old-fashioned person. Assign means to give a particular job or piece of work to someone. Convincing means able to make somebody believe something. And chatterbox means a person who likes to chatter, means very talkative person. And jotted means write something very quickly. Now the meaning of the paragraph. Here Annie tells how she has a great relationship with all her teachers except one, and he was mathematics professor. He was constantly irritated by the Annie's talkativeness. Despite several warnings, Annie did not stop talking in his classes. Whose classes? Mathematics teacher class, which prompted him to give her extra homework as punishment. The first one was to write an essay on chatterbox. Okay, chatterbox means a talkative person, which she thought was a weird, it was strange topic to write on, because what could one write about that? So for the moment, she wrote the topic in her notebook, kept it in her bag, and focused on staying quiet. Okay. Now the next paragraph. That evening, after I had finished the rest of my homework, the note about the essay caught my eye. I began thinking about the subject while chewing the tip of my fountain pen. Anyone could ramble on and leave big spaces between the words, but the trick was to come up with convincing arguments to prove the necessity of talking. I thought, and suddenly I had an idea. I wrote the 3 pages Mr. Keesing had assigned me and was satisfied. I argued that talking is a student's trait, and that I would do my best to keep it under control, but that I would never be able to cure myself of the habit, since my mother talked as much as I did, if not more, and that there's not much you can do about inherited traits. Understand? So you can see the meanings of tough words. Convincing means able to make somebody believe something. Understand? And there are many more words in the paragraph, but I haven't highlighted them, but you must know about them, like ramble. Ramble means to talk or write at length in a confused ways. Then convincing is written here, and then trait means quality. I think it is in the next page. You can see inherited traits. Okay, quality that one gets from one's parents. Now the meaning of the paragraph. Annie came across the note she made as reminder for the essay. After she had finished the rest of her homework, she began thinking about the topic, chatterbox. While chewing the tip of her fountain pen, actually it's a gesture that signifies a person is in deep thinking. He or she is pondering. Okay. While anyone could mention random stuff written for the sake of filling pages, she wanted to present concrete arguments in support of talking. What does she want to write? She wants to write some concrete arguments in favor of talking. Okay. She mentioned that she will try to better herself as a student, but talking is something that cannot be eliminated completely or stopped completely. This is because she got it as an inherited trait, okay, from her mother, and this is how she ended up writing 3 pages on the topic chatterbox. How many pages did she write? She wrote at least 3 pages on the topic chatterbox. Understand? Now the next paragraph. Mr. Keesing had a good laugh at my arguments, but when I proceeded to talk my way through the second next lesson, he assigned me a second essay. This time it was supposed to be on an incorrigible chatterbox. I handed it in. and Mr. Keesing had nothing to complain about for 2 whole lessons. However, during the third lesson, he had finally had enough. Annie Frank has, as punishment for talking in class, write an essay entitled "Quack Quack Quack," said Mistress Chatterbox. Okay, see the meaning of incorrigible means not able to be changed, or that cannot be corrected, that cannot be improved. Understand? And then mistress means a woman in a position of authority or control. Now let's see the meaning of the paragraph. So this way, mathematics professor found Annie's argument to be amusing, means to be entertaining, but when she did not stop talking in the next lesson also, he gave her yet another assignment as punishment. And this time the topic was an incorrigible chatterbox. Incorrigible refers to a bad habit that is difficult to change. Okay, he gave her this topic because he was really annoyed of her unstoppable chattering or talking during his classes. On receiving this assignment, the professor did not say anything to her for a while, but when he lost his patience, he handed her yet another assignment as punishment on the topic "Quack Quack Quack," said Mistress Chatterbox. Understand? Now the next paragraph. The class roared. I had to laugh too, though I had nearly exhausted my ingenuity on the topic of chatterboxes. It was time to come up with something else, something original. My friend Sunny, who was good at poetry, offered to help me write the essay from beginning to end in verse, and I jumped for joy. Mr. Keesing was trying to play a joke on me with his ridiculous subject, but I would make sure the joke was on him. Understand? Now, meaning of roared. Roared means laughed or burst laughing. Burst into laughing. Here, roar means not like a tiger roars. Here, the meaning of roar is that a student burst into laughter. Next word is exhausted, means completely used up, completely tired. Ingenuity, you can see inventiveness, someone's ability to think of clever new ways of doing something. Understand? And verse means lines, poem lines. Okay, and ridiculous means deserving or inviting derision or mockery, means absurd. Understand? Now the meaning of the paragraph. When the professor scolded the authoress, Annie, okay, the third time and punished her, now the whole class started laughing. They burst into laughter, and consequently she had to pretend to be amused too. After writing twice on similar topics, she ran out of thoughts. Now no thoughts remained with her. Thus her friend Sunny, who was good at poetry, offered to help her writing in rhymes, in verse. Okay, this whole assignment scenario was to make Annie feel ashamed, but she made sure that she gave an effective reply. Now the next paragraph. I finished my poem and it was beautiful. It was about a mother duck and a father swan with 3 baby ducklings who were bitten to death by the father because they quacked too much. Luckily, Mr. Keesing took the joke the right way. He read the poem to the class, adding his own comments, and to several other classes as well. Since then, I have been allowed to talk and haven't been assigned any extra homework. On the contrary, Mr. Keesing always making jokes these days. Okay. Okay, now the actually meanings are written on the next page. You can see ridiculous means very unreasonable, ducklings means a gang of ducks or small chicks. Okay, you can say young ducks are called ducklings. There are many meanings. One more meaning, I think, contrary means opposite in nature. Okay, now the meaning of the paragraph. Then finally she wrote her third assignment in the form of a poem. And who helped her? Her friend. And now this turned out to be great. She wrote a satire that a father swan bit his 3 baby ducklings to death because of their noisy nature. Okay, this was in the form of the poetry. To her good luck, the professor took it lightly. The professor recited the entire poem in front of the whole class while giving his own remarks simultaneously. The author, being fortunate enough, talked uninterruptedly after this incident without any further homework as punishment. And now Mr. Keesing, the professor, started cracking jokes every now and then in front of the class. Okay, so that's all about the chapter. I think little more